We just got back from Long Beach, which was the last time that we'll have the GT1 cars racing in the United States. And the series did a marvelous job in recognizing our accomplishments over the last 11 years. And the media picked up on it, and it was actually kind of humbling, not only for myself, but and that takes some doing and for the team as well. You know, you get so immersed in this, you kind of forget where you've been and what you've done. And they had a wonderful tribute to us, made us all feel really, really proud. And now we're moving on to Le Mans. The two cars are back in the shop. I stopped in for a day before I came out here, and the engines are all there, cars are all disassembled. We got all the pieces laid out for them, so we'll get those things put back together, and then we'll fly those over. The truck that we send over on the boat leaves on the 27th, which is just a couple days away, and then we'll head on over. This year at Le Mans, they've done something a little bit different, and obviously talking about global economy, you know, we used to be there for 3 weeks. We test for a week, and we have a week off, and then it was race week. So it actually was about a 3-week deal. I was over there for about a month. Well, this year, for the first time ever, they're compressing that into just 1 week. So now we've got all that stuff crammed in. So this will be brutal, because there will be no rest. And you've heard me say this before. You know, you're out, the race starts on Saturday. So on Wednesday night, they shut down, and you practice from 7 o'clock until midnight. By the time you get home, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're up at 6. You're in 4 hours sleep that night. You duplicate that on Thursday night. Then Friday, the cars completely get disassembled, and all the race stuff gets bolted on. I mean, these guys are getting ready to go to a 24-hour race, sleeping 4 hours a night prior to that. Then you show up at 6 o'clock on race morning, you have a 9 o'clock warm-up, and then only the French would do this, you start racing at 3. So after you've been sleep deprived, you get 6 hours from the time morning warm-up commences to the time the race begins. And then you got a 24-hour race. So you can imagine, you talk about how difficult it is for the car, I want you to think how difficult it is for the crew, because at the end of the day, this is a people business. That's the secret. That's what everybody's overlooked, is the person thing. Everybody focuses on the mechanics of it. We've got that down pretty well. The people part of it is really the unseen weapon. If you can develop your people core, you're going to do a very, very good job at the moment. You're going to be very successful. At any rate, that'll finish up the whole tenure of C6R. One that's obviously been very successful, one that certainly you guys have embraced, and obviously the rest of the world as well.
Do you think maybe the Green Challenge initiated last year might help that a little bit too?
Well, oddly enough, I mean, we knew Green Challenge was going to be important because it's the right thing to do, and we were the first guys to do that E85 thing, and we wanted to send the GM message out there that we care about the environment. And on any given day, if I do 10 interviews, it used to be 9 of them would be about the race car and the engine, and not unlike the questions you've asked here. And then we'd have one question that'd be just totally off the wall, some corporate thing or something. Today, if I do 10 interviews, 9 of the 10 are about the Green Challenge, the E85 thing, where are we going as a corporation, what's happening and all that. What that's done is taken what we do and moved it just outside the circles of the buff books. Because I'm doing stuff at Wall Street Journal, New York Times, a whole bunch of different printed periodicals and internet stuff that had heretofore had no interest in racing at all. We've attracted all those legions of people out of mainstream media to look at what we're doing in racing and looking to, as racers, to be the leaders in the green of America. That's a great opportunity for us. And so it's been really good. Down here in the red shirt, then I'll get to
Yellow color, you have a lot of brand equity in Jake. Is Jake going to be featured in the new GT car?
Oh, I think you'll probably see a little bit of Jake. I was talking to somebody the other night, and I said, the Jake story is out there. And all of that is factual. But I can tell you, and Tom knows a lot of the story. I said, some night, get a few beers in me at dinner, I'll tell you the real story about Jake and how we made that happen. So the guy's got the microphone right up to his mouth right now. I'm an evil guy. We made it happen, and we made it happen the only way it could happen. So sometime I'll tell that story, but yeah, you can depend on Jake sticking around. You only have to look at apparel sales. I mean, I think we were up from 2007 to 2008. I think we were up like 185%. And Jake played a huge role in doing that. And I get a great thrill. I was telling somebody, I was driving in yesterday for the first day, and the Corvette's coming the other way. A beautiful silver convertible, and I look at it, and it's running right down the center of it is the Jake stripe. And I giggled to myself. I said, God, I can't believe it. That guy's out here doing this to their own car. He turns the corner, and there's a little Jake on the rocker panel. I mean, he's an insidious little guy that finds its way into the great places. And this guy right over here is the guy who actually put the thing into production, following my lead, which is don't ever ask. You can always apologize later.
It is true. How many of you have looked under the hood of a ZR1? Up on the air intake, up in the front? It's cast right in there. And trust me, there was no permission granted to do that. That's why I'm retired. No.
He was a great student.
Not really. I just took it from Doug. I just followed Doug.
Doug, with the class shift for Le Mans in 2010, do you have to requalify and the automatic invitations go away as past winners or what?
That's a very good question. For those of you that know, you can't just enter Le Mans. You get to Le Mans by them inviting you to attend. And they invite you to attend on a couple different criteria. One of which is if you happen to win Sebring or you happen to win Petit Le Mans, you get an automatic invitation based just on your victory, on nothing else. The rest of it then becomes very subjective and is just up to them as to who they would want to invite. So I don't have a lot of concerns about us getting to Le Mans in 2010 with our new GT car. I'm pretty sure they'll want us there. Yeah. We have developed a very good, very strong, and very meaningful relationship with the organizers over there. And we've done a great job of partnering together on a lot of things. And they appreciate everything we've done for them, and obviously we couldn't do it without their help and participation. So yeah, we'll be there. That won't be an issue.
Who's going to be your competition at the law this year?
I haven't looked at the entry list lately, but I know there's some Maseratis there. There's one or two Aston Martins. There's ourselves and our kind of our European partners over there with two more Corvettes. The Luke Elfon has entered 2 cars. ProDrive won't be there as ProDrive was, but ProDrive will be working on and participating in whatever Aston Martin is there, just not to the same level. And I had this conversation with my Corvette blogger guy in the back, asking a similar question. Le Mans is an interesting event. And I'll be honest with you, I have never focused on the entry list or who was there or who we were racing against, because it's not that kind of race. You have to focus on what you're doing and not worry about who else is there or what the other guy is doing. You have to have yourself so ready that when that green flag drops, there is no strategy. Anybody who thinks there's a strategy to Le Mans just hasn't raced very much. You have to have a car that you can hammer from the drop of the green flag till the checker comes out 24 hours later. That's your objective. And then wherever you end up, that's what you get. If you're worried about what the guy 3 garages down is doing, you're never going to make it. You got to worry about your own self, and that's what we do. So would I love to have ProDrive there? Yeah, because I want to slap them silly till their ears bleed. But I can tell you this, there's a reason they're not there, and that's because they know it's too hard to do, and they know they got lucky the last 2 years. They want to go out on a high note, because they know we're gunning for them this year, because they know we kind of got we're ready for them.